What's up, YouTube? Let's talk meal prep. So in this video, I'm going to show you the world's easiest strategy to meal prep. That's number one. Number two, I'm going to show you a recipe that I use utilizing that strategy. And three, I'm going to show you how to log that in the Macros First app so you can easily adjust it to your likes and needs and target numbers, whatever you want. Because the Macros First app is super helpful using the recipe function. But that's what we're doing today. I'm going to start getting the rice going because that takes the longest, and then we'll check back in later. So rice, I'm going 300 grams. You don't need to memorize that. All right, so we got 300 grams of dry rice, uncooked raw rice, whatever you want to call it, going in the pot. And then my rice cooker, I have found that a 2.666666 ratio is what works well, or at least well enough for me. So 800 grams of water's going in. Close enough. And then we're just gonna get the rice cooker cooking and fast forward a little bit later to the rest of the process. So, all right, we are back. I'm a little behind schedule, but first thing I'm gonna show you is just the generic, super easy, world's easiest strategy for meal prep. I call it the bucket strategy. Got our bucket here. We're gonna cook everything that needs to be cooked, combine all of our ingredients into one bucket, mix it around, combine it so it's evenly distributed. Whatever you've thrown in there is evenly distributed, and then put it in Tupperware containers, and then you're done. That's it. You've got 6-ish, depending on how you split it up or how much you cook, maybe more. Even buckets, assuming you spread it out evenly. I'll show you how I do that in a second. But that's the bucket strategy. Everything goes in, everything gets combined, everything gets dished out into Tupperware or whatever serving dishes you've got, and you're done. That's easy. Doesn't take a whole lot of fancy cooking or planning or anything like that, but super simple. That's how I do probably 9 out of 10 things that I meal prep. It's some sort of bucket strategy. So that's what we're gonna do today. All right, next thing I'm gonna do is show you how to create a recipe, a bucket recipe strategy in Macros First, and I'll show you what that looks like on screen as I'm going screen recording style. So Macros First is the app that I use. I'm gonna hit the settings button, the more button in the bottom right. Actually, I'm just gonna hit the plus button in the middle. We're gonna make a fresh one. Plus button, create recipe, and then we're gonna call it YouTube Bucket. Since you guys are watching, we're gonna make 6 servings today, because that's what I pretty much always do. I'm just recreating a bucket, and this bucket has roughly 3 ingredients. You already saw the rice, 300 grams worth went in and is cooking currently. It's almost done. Got 2 more ingredients. We got lean ground beef. It's 36 ounces. That is one of those 2.25 pound containers. That looks like 36 ounce of 96% ground beef. That is important, at least for me, to get that leanness and that amount. And then my last main ingredient is thick sliced center cut bacon from Costco. So I'm gonna log that all in there. As you can see, we've got the recipe total tab and the per serving tab, which is pretty cool. So the recipe total is just every ounce of the ingredients all in one number. The per serving is that number divided by 6. So if you're gonna make 10, you can change it. Obviously the numbers go down since they're smaller sets of 10. 6 is what we're doing. And what's great about this screen right here is if you know, hey, that's definitely not enough carbs for what I want, you can say, what if I made 400 grams of rice, and it'll change that carb number so you can see it in action per serving. Same with the protein source. Not enough protein, let's make it 50, eat nice even 50, bumps that protein total per serving to 61. So you can play around in this recipe screen and hit your perfect numbers for your meal prep. You can adjust all these ingredients and what you're gonna add to the pot or the pan or the rice cooker, and you don't have to do the math because it's gonna divide everything by 6. So you can see it live as you adjust numbers. I'm gonna move it back down to 336 ounces of ground beef. That is kind of the base of a lot of the recipes I make, and then I'll add different seasonings depending on what I'm feeling. Today we're going to do just a basic barbecue one. One more thing to notice. So we use this lean ground beef down here. I always buy the leanest ground beef I can find. Let's say instead we did this 80%. 36 ounces of that as well. And let's delete the lean one. Sure. So with that fattier 80% ground beef, those calories are at 688. Protein's pretty much the same. Let's go back to the lean one. Wow. 36 ounces of it. 458. So that's 200 less calories just by picking a different ground beef. So that's something you should also keep in mind. That's not what this video is about, but I get the lean ground beef. That way I can have the bacon and enjoy it as well. That heavier ground beef is almost twice the calories. I think it might be more than twice actually. But that's why I do the lean ground beef. This is the basis of all my meal preps. Not all of them, for the most part. It's a bunch of them. Last thing we're gonna add for some different type of flavor is Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. I'm gonna put some barbecue seasoning in there as well. But that's it. You can do barbecue sauce. I do teriyaki and some garlic and onion powder for a more Asian style. I've put it with pineapple before in the barbecue one. Another one, kind of a meatloaf flavor. So some tomato paste or sauce, ketchup, and Worcestershire mustard powder, that type of thing, to make it kind of like a meatloaf bucket on top of the rice. But if you use that base with or without the bacon, more or less ground beef, more or less rice, you can flavor it however the heck you want. So let's start doing that. That's how you make a recipe in Macros First. Super useful tool that makes meal prep so easy and accurate. So let's make our YouTube barbecue bucket. Got the rice already cooking. It's almost done, so didn't time it super well. First thing we're gonna do, there's the rice. Next thing we're gonna do is slice up some bacon. And we're just gonna fry that off a little bit before the ground beef goes in. Essentially from here, all you're doing is cooking things until they are cooked and combining it. That's how easy it is. That's the seasoning we're going with, our barbecue. All right, our last and final step is to assemble our buckets. Everything is cooked, so we're just gonna combine everything. Everything goes into the bucket, we mix it around. All right, last step is to distribute our bucket. As you can see, it's all mixed together. Maybe it looks appetizing to you, maybe it doesn't, but it is delicious. So we just gotta distribute these evenly into our Tupperware containers. I already know how much this plastic bowl weighs, so that's an important thing to do before you start combining things. Hopefully you watched the whole video before you started. But I've got the scale to 0. The whole thing weighs 2358 grams. 2358 minus 235, which is how much the bucket weighs, which comes out to 2123 divided by 6, 354-ish. So every bucket needs 354 grams of our mixture. So that's what we're gonna do. If you've never used a food scale, good strategy, hack, not really a hack, but proper way, easy way to use it for something like this. Bring it back to 0, and then you start scooping out until it reads negative whatever number you want. So I'm going to shoot for negative 354. Right now it's at 0. This is 172 grams-ish. We're just going to keep scooping until we hit 354 negative most. Close enough. All right. So good amount of food for the macros that we're getting. We're going to repeat that 5 more times. Alrighty, as you can see, we've got 6 meals ready to rock for the week. Super easy. I hope you realize that's the kind of moral of the story today, is this is so easy. I know exactly the macros on it. Took very little thought and effort and time even. Change the flavors, change the sauces, seasonings, whatever you want. This is how I do it. I'm gonna keep doing it. Been doing it for a long time. Super easy. If you have questions on how much you should be eating, any other types of recipe questions, meal prep questions, send me a message on Instagram. Go to my website. If you need some nutrition help, I'm happy to assist. If you found this helpful in any way, please like and subscribe. Share it with someone. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers so I can keep doing this as a job or something, make some money off of the YouTubes. Thanks for watching. Go meal prep, make some buckets. Peace.